Hello guys. While talking about PowerPoint presentations, most common mistake that presenters make is pulling up a lot of data on your slides, and then what happens is that your audience get confused. So most important factor that I believe in PowerPoint presentations is to carry on the focus of the audience in the right dimension, to take them to the visibility that you have on the same level. That's very important, and for that reason you have to continuously play with your slides to show the data that you want them to see, rather than just to pull on the data and then expect them to understand and see. That's a mistake. So there are certain multiple ways of handling this in the PowerPoint, and there are different techniques. One of the techniques is to show like concentrate the audience focus on the data by showing one at a time, or to highlighting one part of the data in the bigger picture, so that helps you to make your audience understand. For example, you can see on the slide I have the data for 2016 and 17 for European tourism trend. This is just an example data, sample data, random data. So for example, I click on 2016 so I can see the 2016 data. I click again and it's vanished. Now I click on 2017 and I can see 2017 data, and then I click on it and it's vanished. So by these clicks, rather than having all the data on one slide, I continuously manage to show what I want to and talk what I'm showing. Similarly, for example, we have bulk data here, a lot of tables, and I want to go one by one on the tables. I can use again the same technique by clicking on one of the groups, and I can show the data of one group. Then I click again and it's removed. Then on group B, I can show the group B data. I can explain it to my audience, and then I can remove it. And again on group C, I can show the group C data and explain it and then remove it. So it makes my audience more comfortable, and my data more easily conveniently presentable. Similarly, if we have a bigger picture of a map here and I want to highlight certain countries, so I can simply click on the country and you can see it's highlighted here. Again, click on it and it's vanished from the map. Similarly, another country, I show it here, you can see, and then click on it. So I'm using these triggers to show the data that I want to show to the people or my audience, rather than just showing the whole data and then expecting them to understand what is there in that particular part. So um, I will show you now how you can make it yourself easily, and how you can play with this part of PowerPoint. So let's start with the first slide that we saw about European tourism trends. Once again, I must say that this is just a sample data that you can see here. It has no relevance with the actual data at all. It's just for demonstration purpose. So here I have two graphs which I want to demonstrate one by one. So for that, first and most important thing is the triggers. So those triggers can be defined by taking shapes, by taking any text, anything that you want to put in. So let's take the first example from the shapes. So I'll put in a shape here. It's a shape that I will use as a trigger to show the chart. So in this shape, I will click F2. When click F2, it allows you to write down inside that box. So I'll write down 2016. I will make a copy of this and I will rename the text to 2017. So now we have two triggers for two of our how you call it, graphs. So each one of the graph will be connected to this. Now whenever you create a box or an animation or a design or a shape, it is given a certain name by default by Microsoft Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint. So you need to make sure that you remember those names, because you will be referring back to these names. So these should be as they are. So what is the name of this box? For example, if you ask me, I will make it 2016, name of the box. And this rectangle should be 2017. So for that reason, on the top in the Format tab, you can see here in the Arrange part, a selection pane. So for example, I click on 2016 box, selection pane, and in the selection pane you can see the name of the box is rectangle 12. That is a reference that I will not remember in the long term, because this is a rectangle and it can be anyone. So to make it easy for me to remember, I will double click on the name, and now I'm able to change the name. So I'll change it to 2016. Now it's easy for me to remember this, because whenever I will animate this, I will refer the animation to this box. So then I'll forget it's rectangle 13 or whatever. Now this 13 is 2017, so I'll rename this one as well as 2017. Now it's easy for me to animate it. So let's go ahead and animate this by going to the animations. When I go to animations and I click on the box, I can see the animation is enabled, but the box is not the one to be animated. Animation will go onto the charts. So I click on the chart where I can see here the chart. I want to animate it, so add animation is simple. In the animations tab, add animation, appear. Now, how to appear? There is a small trigger here. Trigger, maybe you didn't use it before, but trigger is a set of conditions that animations can be triggered from. So when I click on this trigger, I can see on click of what? On click of 2016. So this is 2016 data and this is 2016 box. So I am indirectly telling or directly telling Excel that whenever I click on the box 2016, it should appear. The animation that we just gave is appear. Click. Now it will appear. Now we need to make it disappear as well. So give another animation to the same thing. If you go a little bit down, there is exit animation, disappear. Now exit animation should also be linked with the trigger, and that trigger again is 2016. Now I just put it on this one. I just show you how it works. So click on this. Now this is no animated 2017, it's only 2016 that is animated, and when you hover around, you see a small hand and finger pointer as well, which means it is active and linked. So I click on it and I can see 2016 data. I click on it again and it disappears. Similarly, we'll apply the same technique on the next chart, and this chart will be number one. The first thing that we will do is to give it an appearance. So appearance is appear. With this appear animation, I will give it a trigger on click of 2017 because this is a 2017 chart. Again, I will give another animation that will be the animation of disappear. Click on disappear and give it again a trigger of 2017, which means that when you click again on 2017, it will disappear as well. So now we have it ready for us, our chart here. So I will show the presentation. You can see here, when I click on 2016, it appears. When I click on 2017, it appears. And when I click back on these two buttons or two boxes or two rectangles or two shapes, it disappears. So this is quite simple, guys. You can use your own creativity to make your graphs more creative by using these buttons. I will go back right away to the next animation, and that is now on kind of a text boxes. So these are simple text boxes. You can see it's group A. It's in this case, I've already named them as group A, group B, group C. Again, you know how to change the name. Just put the text here in the selection pane. You will double click and you can rename it. So now I have here three tables. Now imagine the amount of data that you have and you want to present on this particular presentation. So again, I will go on one of the tables. I will give it an animation, appear, and appear on click of group A. So this is group A data. Again, it should disappear as well with the same. So disappear with the trigger of group A. So that's how it's appearing and disappearing with animation in the tab of animation, add animation, and exit and appear with the triggers. Triggers, remember, these are the triggers which are making the clicks appear or disappear your animation. On the next, I'll say table, I'll give the same animation by add animation, appear, trigger on click of group B. And again, add another animation, disappear on click of group B. So now that is also set to go. I will put it up on the top here. And now we have the third table. I'll put the third here as well. On the third table, add animation, appear, trigger will be on click of group C. In this case, group C will be used. And again, I want to add an animation to remove it as well from the screen. Disappear or exit, trigger and the trigger will be group C. Now we have the next table ready as well. So let's see how it works. So apparently when I show my PowerPoint presentation, I see only these groups, group A, group B, group C. So if I want to present to my audience group A only, so I don't have to show all of them, but rather I click on group A and I can see the group A data. Number one, it is saving space for my slide. And number two, I am able to show the right data at the right time to the people, to the audience, to make them focused on the right place. So I click back on group A and it's vanished. Now I click on group B, I can see the group B data as well. I click again on group B and it's vanished, and group C data and it's vanished again. So that's how you can link it to now a small kind of groups, and you show your data as per the priority. So let's move on to our maps highlight now. So on the map, it's a big map, the whole globe, and you want to show a certain part of that globe here. So let's say, for example, I want to show insert rectangle. Okay, I put my rectangle here and its name F2. When you press F2, you're able to add it to text. So I want to show production of rice, production of wheat, let's say, and production of cotton. So I take the third one here. So I've made these three kind of highlight areas which I want to show in this map. The first thing I'll do is I will copy and paste this map, and in this part I will delete this one because I just need to take the colored part of this map here. So what we want to highlight here should be taken as an external object. So I'll take another object from here. So for example, if I want to, whatever you want to highlight, the first thing you have to do is to ungroup the whole map. So for example, I want to ungroup this area. So I'll right click on this and group spot and ungroup. Now it's ungrouped all of it. So I can pick up everything on my own. So I let's say I choose this part, Control C, I take it up here. So I can see here, yeah, it's appearing. Now I'll take the second country. I will give it a different color here. This one, Control C, Control V. Okay, we have this one here as well. So we have these two different objects which we will make appear and disappear. You got my logic now, as we did with our tables. So this is the same technique that we're going to apply. Now go back and let's take another country. For example, oh, this one. Let's take this one. Give it a slightly different color, this one, and copy, paste. So we'll place that as well on the area where we want it to appear. There we go. Now it's fixed. So cool. We have these three parts and we want to highlight them to our audience, that which one is the rice, which one is the wheat, which one is the cotton production area. So the first thing that you have to do is to make these triggers, which we did already. So when we want to link these triggers, we have to go to the drawing tools and format. And in the format, we have this selection pane. Selection pane shows that this item is here, rectangle 2, change it to rice, because we want to give the rice. You know, now you see in the object selection, you have a lot of objects, and you get confused which one you should give trigger to, because these are all freeform and rectangles and etc. So for that reason, I was asking you to change the name of the object. So now again, I will change the object name to wheat and this one to cotton. Now it's easy for me, wherever these objects are, to refer to these objects easily in my map. So I will close this. I will start highlighting these countries. So let's say, for example, we'll highlight this country as a wheat production, or let's make it in the order, so rice production area. So if I go to the animations, I add animation, appear, trigger. What should be the trigger? Guess, guess, guess. Yes, rice. We have put rice somewhere. So here we have in the long list, it's easy now for me to find rice. Again, the next animation is the exit and disappear animation, and that animation also will be triggered on rice. So I go down, I select rice. Similarly, the second country, I select it, appear, trigger, and trigger will be triggered by wheat this time. And again, we'll put a disappear animation, and the disappear animation will also be triggered by wheat. Correct. Now the third country, add animation, appear, trigger, and it will be triggered by cotton because it's the last one. And again, the last animation will be exit or disappear animation, and it will also be triggered by cotton. So now we have our set ready for the presentation. So I'll just simply present it. Now we have all these countries here. I want to highlight rice production. You see it's highlighted. Again, click, it's removed. Wheat production, you can see it's highlighted. Again, click and it's removed. And now cotton, here you see in the map, and then click remove. So this is how you can animate kind of on your own, your maps to focus or to bring the focus of your audience on the right direction at the right time. So when you're talking about rice, you will highlight the rice area. When you talk about the wheat, you highlight the wheat area. When you talk about cotton, you highlight the cotton area. So that's a way, guys, to make your presentation more effective, more efficient by directing and diverting your audience attention on the right places. I hope you enjoyed it and looking forward to speak to you again. Meanwhile, I'll also suggest that if you have any comments, queries, or any further kind of ideas that you want to learn more about, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Looking forward to speak to you again, and I wish you a good day. Bye bye.